I don't know if I should say anything or whether we should just keep chanting. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Kacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Paschatya Desatarine. Got his blessings, now I can speak. Mukham karoti vachalam pangolangayate girim akripatamaham vande Sri Guru dinatarinam vanchakapatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you all for coming. Is this the hottest day of the year, or was it yesterday? Anyway, I'm from Florida. I feel quite comfortable, but I know it's a little austerity for you. And there's going to be a fire in this room, and it's going to get even hotter. Today we're doing a ceremony, which is called Diksha in Sanskrit. It means initiation. And one of the long-time devotees here is going to take a vow. She's taking a vow to do what she's already doing, but it formalizes, like a marriage, it formalizes a commitment. The people are already together, committed to one another, but it's formalization. And it's a recommendation in our scriptures. The first recommendation is one should have a spiritual master, because we're lost in this world, so we can't get out on our own, so we need a teacher, and then at some point we formalize that relationship. And we agree to follow certain instructions. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to give there are 2 initiations, and we're going to give second initiation also. So there will be a sacrifice, fire sacrifice, and some mantras. It's very purifying. That will happen after we speak and give the names. The person doing the fire yajna is a Brahmin priest who probably grew up as a Brahmin priest, so it should be quite special. He knows many mantras and tantras, mystical things. A lot of people like it. It has a very mystical element, but what it is, we say sacrifice. It's an offering that we're making. We're creating a fire, and God, Vishnu, incarnates in a fire, and we're offering that fire. Basically, we're offering ourselves into the Lord in that fire, in the form of grains that we throw in the fire. Especially the initiates will throw grains. Some others may throw also. And but first, what we're going to do is we'll talk about what initiation is, and then we'll give them their names, and hopefully by then the Brahmin will be here. Apparently he's got a fast setup. Usually it takes like half hour, 45 minutes. Then thinks he can set it up very quickly. I don't believe him, but he could be a very experienced Brahmin who does these sacrifices many days a week, so perhaps he can do that. So. Yes. So, there's a verse, many of you know this verse, it's a song which was written, it must have been maybe 350 years ago. It was a song glorifying the spiritual master. Not, of course, the devotee who wrote the song was glorifying his spiritual master. But it's a general principle of glorifying the position of the spiritual master. And the first verse, this is called the Guru Vashtaka, 8 prayers of glorification to the Guru. And the first verse is Samsharadava Nalalidhaloka Tranaya Karuna Ganaganatam Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Gurosi Charanarvindam. So samsara means the cycle of birth and death. We are all in this cycle. We're all going to get old someday. For some of us, someday has already arrived. And if it hasn't arrived yet, it will. And at some point, you can't get any older. You have to take another body. And so that's samsara. It's like a cycle. Birth, death. You can say birth. Well, it's down here. Birth, disease, old age, death. Again, birth, old age. Samsara, dava, nala, lidha, loka. The world, this cycle in this song is compared to a forest fire. We're all in the forest fire. We're all burning in the cycle of birth and death. And we can't get out. It's just a matter of time, right? Nobody gets out of here alive, right? Something like that. Now, if I were to speak at a medical college and they would ask me, what is the number one cause of death? I would tell them something they don't realize. The number one cause of death is birth. Because if you didn't take birth, you wouldn't die, right? So, there is a place beyond birth. And so you don't die, therefore if you take birth, you have to die. And Krishna says, write that in the, it sounds like pretty simple. Krishna says in the Gita, for one who's taken birth, death is certain. For one who dies, birth is certain, unless you're transcendental. Right? So, the leading cause, headlines, leading cause of death is discovered. It's birth. Yeah. That's samsara. Samsara is like a fire. And the spiritual master is like a cloud that pours water on the fire and it puts the fire out. So where does the spiritual master get the water? He doesn't create the water. The water is Krishna. So the cloud, you know the clouds get water from the ocean, right? Did you know that?
Yes.
The sun shines on the ocean and evaporates the water without salt, correct? Comes in the cloud and the clouds move around it. It's a good arrangement, right? Somebody figured that out at some point in the history of the universe. That would be a good way to water the universe. The water will create oceans. They'll be preserved with salt. They won't go bad. We'll have sun. We'll have a sun. The sun will pull the water out of the ocean, form in clouds, and the clouds will come down and shower, and we'll get water. And they'll come down mountains and rivers, and we'll get the water out. Good idea, right? You think it's a good idea? Anyone have a better idea? That's a good idea. Yeah, that's what I tell atheists. That's a good idea. Every good idea someone must have thought of. Yeah. So, the ocean is compared here to the ocean of mercy, and the spiritual master is the cloud. He got the water, which is Krishna's mercy, and now he has it and he can give it. So he doesn't have mercy of his own, but he has mercy from the water, from the ocean. Right? And so that's the position of the spiritual master. And what does he do with that water? He extinguishes the fire of samsara. Right? He pours, water on our samsara, and then we become free from birth and death. So that's the reason one has a spiritual master. All the Shastras say, if you want to become free from the cycle of birth and death, then you need a guru, because he can guide you. And so his mercy, we say the water is his mercy. The water is a gift. It's not that we deserve it, but we agree to follow his instruction, and then we get the gift. So the instruction is the mercy. We need that instruction. So he's giving the instruction of Krishna. He's assimilated that instruction in his own life. Through his own realization, he explains it to help the disciple get out of the cycle of birth and death. So Prabhupada said, the mercy of the Guru is his instruction. That's how you get the mercy of the Guru. You get their instruction. So the scripture says, if you want to get out of the cycle of birth and death, then you find a Guru, you'll get his mercy. Now, mercy is an interesting word. In Sanskrit, it's kripa or daya. I think it's daya. Yeah, daya. Maybe that's Bengali also. Kripa daya. Gurudev kripa bindu diya. Koroe dasi trinapekati. Anyway, Gurudev, give me a drop of mercy. Gurudev kripa bindu diya. Koroe dasi trinapekati. I'm coming to you humbly, asking for your mercy. So, in the Gita, Krishna says, approach your Guru, approach him humbly. Don't come to the Guru and say, Guruji, I know a lot of stuff, you probably know a lot of stuff, what can you tell me? No, you have to say, Guruji, I'm a fool. I'm in the cycle of birth and death, what do I know? Can you help me? So the Guru is above that cycle, so he can help you. And one of the funny things in the Bhagavad Gita, I don't know if you realize this, is pretty funny, and Krishna's being pretty a little sarcastic, or maybe very sarcastic. Arjuna is speaking to Krishna, and he's giving Krishna, he's telling Krishna, these are all the reasons we shouldn't fight in this battle. So he's giving, his logical reasons, quoting Shastra, analytical, making his points. At the same time, he's severely lamenting, or sometimes we could even say he's quite depressed, actually. Obviously he has to kill his relatives. He can't really deal with it, so he's in a bad state. He doesn't know how to handle this reality that there's a battle and the people on the other side are his family members and they're against him, and it's his duty to fight. So he's telling Krishna why this is a bad idea, and Krishna's listening. And after Krishna listens, Krishna says, Arjuna, he doesn't say it this way, but I'm going to say it this way because that's the connotation. Arjuna, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And the reason Krishna said it's stupid is interesting, because what Arjuna said is not actually stupid. What he said was right. It was just right, but not right for that situation. Like sometimes something's right, it's just wrong in a particular situation. So Arjuna did not say anything wrong, it was just wrong for that situation. Arjuna was very compassionate, he didn't want to fight. Compassion is good, yes, it was just bad in that situation. Like some murderer is coming to kill your wife and you're very compassionate. I'll forgive you. No, beat him up. Compassion in that situation is to knock him out. It's compassion for your wife. So it was misplaced. So Krishna said something quite interesting. He said, okay, everything you said, it sounds great. You sound quite learned. But there's one problem. You're a complete mess. And knowledge gives you happiness. Knowledge gives you enlightenment if you know you're not depressed, you're not confused, you're not suffering, you're not bewildered. So Krishna was playing with him. So he said, while speaking learned words, you're mourning for not what is worthy of grief. The wise lament neither for the living or the dead. So if you're actually wise, you wouldn't be lamenting, and the fact that you're lamenting is definite proof You don't know what you're talking about. Basically, in so many ways, that's maybe a more modern way of saying it, but that's really what Krishna's saying. How could you, what's going on? You're like, you're talking about something and you're like miserable. So, the guru is the one who helps the miserable person get out of misery. That's the job. With knowledge. And that knowledge, as I said, is kripa or mercy. And so a disciple approaches the guru, as Krishna says in the Gita, pranipatena, you should come as I am your servant. You come submissive, you come to serve the guru. You come, as Prabhupada said, you should come like a fool. Not that you shouldn't act like a fool, but you should feel like a fool. That's the humility. What do I know? I know so many things. I've read so many books. Yeah, but look at your life. Are you happy? You're still in the cycle of birth and death. Congratulations for reading all those books. You're still a mess, basically. Right? So, you come to the guru that way, like I'm a mess, basically. Even if you think you're not a mess, I have a body. That's a problem, right? If I would have figured it out, I wouldn't be here, right? Why did I get this body? I didn't figure it out. Or maybe I didn't take a guru in my last life. So this life I go to the guru and I say, help me. And the idea is that I can't help myself. I can help myself, but I need guru to help me more. And the example is given. If you fall in a well, of course, who falls in a well in Amsterdam? I don't know, maybe you fall in a canal or something. But the idea of a well is that traditionally there was no public water, there were wells. And everyone usually lived in villages, and they would all go to the village with their pots and put their pots in the well, right? Fill it with water, bring it out, put it on their head, and walk home. And that's the water for the day. It comes from the well. And so there's a lot of analogies in scriptures which are based on village life thousands of years ago, and that's one of them. And one of what's the example we hear? A well, it's not getting used, and the well is ground level, and the grass is covering the well. So you're just walking along, and the well, is a big hole, like maybe this wide, a meter and a half, and the well goes down 300 feet. But it just looks like grass. And you take one step, and all of a sudden, boom! How are you going to get out of the well? There's no stairway. You're down 300 feet. How will you get out? So that's considered to be the position of a soul in this world, fallen into a well, and the spiritual master throws the rope down, and he says, grab the rope, I'll pull you up. And so you hold onto the rope. That rope is like his instruction. You hold onto the rope, and he pulls you. So he's pulling you up with the instruction. So the idea of mercy is, I can't get out of the well on my own, but I have to do something. So if the guru throws down the rope and you say, do I have to hold to the rope? It's so rough. My hands are like sensitive. You ever feel like that? Can't the guru just deliver me? Do I actually have to chant Hare Krishna? Can't he just go with his magic wand? Why do I have to do anything? No, it's not like that. The mercy comes in response to our effort, but the idea is our effort is insignificant in comparison to the power that we're given to become Krishna conscious. So we put out a little effort, you get 10 times more back. It's a real good investment. That's what mercy means. It doesn't mean you just lay in bed waiting for mercy. You do something, you act, the guru is pleased, Krishna is pleased, and they give you mercy, and that mercy comes in the form of strength. So they're really pulling you up. You have all this strength that you don't normally have. Just like when Prabhupada came, how were we, Prabhupada? We were like, Prabhupada! Jumping, hitting the roof, Then Prabhupada used to say that, the devotees' parents would come and said, my son was so lazy I couldn't even get him to put his clothes away in his room. And I come to the temple and he's mopping the temple and singing, cleaning the bathroom. He's so happy. You're like, what happened, right? Because the mercy of a pure devotee is so strong, it gives you strength that you don't have, right? That's what it means to have a guru. Like, I have limitations. I can only go so far. But by the grace of guru, I can go so much further. So, at some point in a devotee's life, they reach a point and they think, I want to commit. I want to commit to this process. I realize this is what I want to do, and I want to do it formally now. And at that point, they take formal initiation. Of course, before that, they have already found their guru. Of course, Srila Prabhupada is our guru for all of us, and Prabhupada's disciples and others represent him, and they help you in your relation with Prabhupada. They help you understand Prabhupada, come closer, serve his mission, and so forth. So that's what we're doing. And when you please Guru, like it's a mystical process. When you please Guru, Krishna's pleased, and then all kinds of amazing things happen. All kinds of realizations come, and all kinds of spiritual strength comes. And sometimes devotees, one time, you wonder, well, how does Krishna know if I'm pleasing my Guru? I'm here, cleaning the temple. That's pleasing to the Guru according to the scripture, but my Guru's, while I'm cleaning the temple, he's an American, it's his bedtime, and how could he know? And I didn't tell him. So one devotee, this is interesting, said, Srila Prabhupada, how do we know if if our service is pleasing you? How do you know? Prabhupada said, I asked the temple president. So it's not like, but there is a mystical element to it, at least from my experience. The mystical element is that when you please Guru, Krishna knows, and Krishna gives you mercy. Even if your Guru's sleeping in America. Krishna knows, Krishna is pleased when you please his devotee, not just the Guru, but when you please any devotee, Krishna's pleased. And then Krishna gives you mercy, and mercy comes in this way of, you will just feel surcharged spiritually. And it's not you. It's not coming from you. It's coming from them. It's coming from that cloud, from the ocean of mercy, that cloud. And then you get it. And all of a sudden, you can do things you could never do before, that were impossible. And everyone who joins the Krishna conscious movement has this realization that I wanted to be spiritual, but it was so difficult. I didn't know how to do it. I was trying. I went here and tried this, read this book, did that, tried this. That worked a little bit, but still I was basically me. And I wanted to be better than me. I wanted to transcend. There was a lot about me that was good, but there's a lot about me I wanted to get better or transcend or purify. And when we come into Krishna consciousness, we get the mercy of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. We start to become that person we couldn't become on our own. How many of you have that experience? Yeah. That's the spiritual experience. That is called mercy, kripa, daya. Therefore, in the scriptures it said, Mukkam karoti vachalam. If you're dumb means you cannot speak. But if you're dumb and you have the mercy of Guru, you can recite poetry. Mukkam karoti vachalam pangu langayate girim. If you're lame, which means you don't know how to walk, you can climb a mountain if you have the mercy of Guru. Anda deke taragane. If you are blind, you can see the stars in the sky if you have the mercy of Guru. So, this is so beautiful because so many of us were trying to be spiritually evolved and it wasn't working out as well as we'd like. And when you get mercy of Guru, at that point you realize that's how it works. It's can only go so far on your own. And then you realize, anything's possible now because I have mercy of Guru. It's not depending on me anymore. That's the idea. Hare Krishna. So, The first initiation, which Mina is getting her first initiation, she's been waiting a long, long time. 20 years, right? Or more? 38. 38. Oh, I thought you were only 38 years old. She's 39. Yeah. She has to be at least 39 to be waiting 38 years. Anyway, so she's going to be getting first initiation. This is called Hari. We call it Harinam Diksha. She's going to commit to chanting. She's going to make a vow to chant 16 rounds every day on her beads. And she's going to commit to 4 principles. And because it's called Harinam Diksha, we talk about the 10 offenses to the holy name so that the candidate, the initiate, understands that when they chant, they should not just chant any old way, but they should chant in a certain way, avoiding offenses. Now, you may wonder, why at this initiation does an initiate vow to follow 4 principles? No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no intoxication. Why do they vow to do that? And by the way, Mina, if you forget any of them, when you're making your vows, just say, I will not go to Las Vegas except to visit the temple, because that includes all the vows, because they break them all in Las Vegas. And I was in a center in Las Vegas, so I have first-hand experience. But now there's a temple in Las Vegas. So the 4 principles are, I will not go to Las Vegas except to visit the temple. So, now one might say, if you chant Hare Krishna, you become purified, and naturally you'll become vegetarian. Prabhupada says that right in his books. And we all have experience. Many of us were addicted to so many things, and then we start chanting Hare Krishna and we stop it. We just lose interest. It's like we're here, we take drugs or alcohol, we go up here, we chant Hare Krishna, we go up here. So why would we want to go down here again? We're already up here. So it's pretty easy. Why get high? Because high now is low. When you're down here, high is up. When you're up here, high is low. So we just give it up, right? And all of us crazy young men who became monks and became celibate somehow or other. I don't know how we did it. But we're not coming from a culture which is really conducive to celibacy, but by the power of the holy name, we did it. We liked it. It was good. Very peaceful and so forth. So why do we need to make a vow to do that if the power of chanting, by the power, that's what happens? The reason is to ensure that we do that. Prabhupada wanted to make sure we do that, because if we don't do that, our chanting will not be pure. So he's saying, you're going to vow to chant 16 rounds, but you're going to vow to follow these 4 principles, because you need to follow these 4 principles so your chanting is pure, so it works. Because if you're not following these principles, then your consciousness is being contaminated. You need to follow this. So we take a vow to follow 4 principles, which automatically we'll do anyway, but to ensure we do it so that our chanting is pure, we make these vows. Now, one time, Prabhupada said, these are not actually spiritual vows. These are vows which are foundational to a pious life. You could say foundation to human life. This is what you do if you're a human. Now that sounds kind of heavy, doesn't it? But that's what the scriptures say. So, don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. Scripture says, human life means you're a forgiving person, you're clean, you don't become angry. This is all considered human. So these principles sound quite high, but they're actually considered principles of piety upon which we can base our chanting. So that's why they take a vow to follow these 4 principles. So their chanting can be pure. And then when they take their vow to chant 16 rounds, they're also taking a vow to chant 16 rounds in a proper way. And therefore, whenever there was initiation, Prabhupada would discuss how to chant Hare Krishna properly, how to avoid offenses. And so that's what we do at initiation. Of course, those who were at the japa, or the music and mantra retreat yesterday, learned a lot about that. And for those of you who weren't there yesterday, I think we'll do it again next time. If you all come, I will come back next time. If you weren't there yesterday, I can say that we had an amazing time, and I wish you were all there. It would have been so nice to have you all there. It was it's always beautiful to talk about how to properly chant. So next time, don't ever think, well, I've been to a japa retreat before. That's like saying, you want to go to the gym? No, I've been there before. You don't need to go. It's like, no, you need to you always need to go deeper. So it was beautiful. I hope to see you all there next year. If you're willing to come, then I'll be happy to come back. We're going to try to entice Satchidananda Swami to come. That should be the clincher for all of you to come. So, in having taught about japa for many years, many workshops, one of the things we learn is that when we can chant purely with only the motive to please Krishna, only the motive to develop love for Krishna, that's called Shuddhanam. Shuddha means pure. And we come to pure chanting by doing our best to avoid the offenses to the holy name. And the main offense, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is we chant without focus, without intention, without effort, without endeavor, without heart, without energy. We just chant just to finish our rounds. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that the 10th offense, well, he didn't say, he said, yeah, he did say, the 10th offense is inattention. He didn't say that, that's from the Padma Purana, but he said, if we commit the 10th offense, then that's the cause of making all the other offenses. So when I read that, I thought, well, this is interesting. Because the 10th offense, if we make the 10th offense, our chanting will not have a lot of shakti. And if our chanting isn't pure, then we're likely to make all the other offenses, or many of the other offenses. Like criticism is an offense, and lacking faith in the holy name is offense. And using the holy name to relieve our bad karma, to commit a sin, that's a huge offense. To disobey the guru, that's a huge offense. So you could see that if you chant properly, you'll have spiritual strength and you wouldn't make those offenses. Right? So focusing on the 10th offense is really important. So when initiates make a vow, they make a vow to chant 16 rounds, but that can be misleading because they're actually making a vow to chant 16 rounds without making these offenses. They're not just making a vow just to chant. And I would hope that all of you who are in this room don't think this lecture is for Minot. This lecture is for all of us. Because either we're already initiated and we made that vow, or we're thinking about being initiated, or we're chanting Hare Krishna. We can learn how to do that better. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has divided inattention into 3. Does anyone remember what those 3 are? Now we're testing the students yesterday. Did I mention it before prasadam or after? Because if I mention it after prasadam, there's no question you're going to remember it.
I remember 1, laziness.
Laziness is 1.
Indifference.
Indifference. Well, it's distraction, actually. But indifference, apathy, yeah. Apathy. Apathy is like indifference, yeah. And then distraction, laziness, apathy. So, now Bhaktisiddhanta said when you chant, if you chant making an effort to not be lazy, to not be apathetic and not be distracted, that gets you out of the stage of offensive chanting into the stage which is the middle stage, which is called Nam Abbas. Abbas means a shadow or reflection. So it's a reflection of pure chanting. It's not pure. It's like the sun. It's like the sun here at like maybe 5 o'clock. It's not full, but everything's light. So, but offensive chanting is like 2 a.m. There's no sun, and so no suntan at 2 a.m. Right? Have you ever chanted and felt like you didn't chant? You finished your rounds and it was like, what happened? I feel the same. We actually weren't chanting. It just sounded like we were. It was called 2 a.m. japa. The goal is noon japa, or whatever. Noon is the sun supposed to be overhead. I don't know now in the summer here what time the sun is overhead, but the time of day where the sun is the strongest, that's called Shuddhanam. There's the most light. So the holy name manifests fully. So the second stage is not at night, it's at twilight. It's the light's coming up. There's some light coming from the holy name. It's starting to light up our heart. And 12 noon is when it's pure, and when it's pure, love of Krishna comes. So if we make an effort, Bhaktisiddhanta said, if we make an effort to chant without offense, then we're on the second level. And from the second level, now you can go to the third level, but you can't go from the first level. You have to get into the second. There's no skipping from first to third. It's like taking the first class, and if I go to a Dutch class, well, I'll take the first class and then I'll just take the last class. It doesn't happen. You have to take every class. So, if we are in the stage of Namabas, which is the second stage, then there's some light, and gradually, as we improve, the sun's rising, and then that pure chanting is noon. And so that's the goal, pure chanting. And that pure chanting will give all spiritual perfection. It will give love of Krishna. And so, it's so interesting. We all know this. We probably have, many of us have thought about this. Prabhupada is giving us so many instructions. He could ask us to vow so many things, and he only asked us to vow one positive thing. 4 negatives, 1 positive. Chant 16 rounds every day. You think he might say, and plus read my books, and serve the Vaishnavas, and do a little service every day, and this, that, and the next thing. He just said, just chant 16. So, we have to talk more about this, because Prabhupada put a lot of importance on 16. Not just 16, but 16 good ones. He put a lot of stress on this. And he had said many times, if you chant 16 rounds and follow 4 principles, you will go back to Krishna in this life. He said you will even see Krishna. And those of us who chant 16 rounds and follow the principles, like, really? That's it? That's all I have to do? That's going to happen? I'm going to go back to God just by chanting 16 rounds? Well, if you chant 16 bad rounds, you definitely will not understand how it's working, how that would work, because it's not really working so quickly. So you might doubt it. But even if you're chanting well, it's hard to believe that that's like really all you have to do. Now, of course, you could say if you do that, so many other things will come from that, and so many purified, pure activities will come. But in the context of this discussion, many, many times Prabhupada said 16 rounds, 4 principles. He didn't say anything else. Wow, that's it. And there were times when devotees doubted that, and they questioned Prabhupada. Is that it? Is that all? Prabhupada said yes. And it was really hard for the devotees to believe that. Really, Prabhupada? That's all? And every time they asked Prabhupada, really? Is that all? Prabhupada said, yes, 16 rounds, 4 principles. And on some occasions, Prabhupada would answer that question by saying, if you just chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 principles, I promise you, you will go back to Godhead in this lifetime. That's quite an offer. What do you think? Any takers on that offer? Yeah. You don't have to come back. You don't have like 9 months in the womb and then 5 years of goo goo gaga. You can't even talk and tell people what you want. Remember being a baby? No, we don't remember. But you can't tell anybody. All you can do is cry. It's frustrating. When my daughter could finally speak, she was so much happier. You can't walk, you have to crawl. That's frustrating. When you finally can walk, I can get around now. And you talk, but then you have to go to school and get bullied. And if you go to school in America, that's another thing. There's so much violence now. It's and all the social pressure and and who knows what the world will be like, with all the robots taking over. That's another discussion for another Sunday feast. But we see how the world's changing. And Prabhupada, in many lectures that I attended, was trying to convince us to not to take another birth. And he was trying to convince us that's really not a good idea, and that things in this age are going to get bad fast. And they already have. We've seen it. So this was a theme. So on one hand you had this theme, Prabhupada saying, you don't want to come back, you can get out in this lifetime. On the other hand, you have Prabhupada saying, 16 rounds, 4 principles, and you can go back to Godhead. So, Hare Krishna. So, for many of us, we come to this point where we say, yes, this is what I want to do. I've been around in the material world long enough. Things aren't working out the way I hoped they would. And now Srila Prabhupada comes along and says, I can get you out of here with 16 rounds and 4 principles. So, at some point, there are some people who take that to heart, who want to commit to that, who sincerely feel this is going to be my last life. I want this to be my last life. And they want to take initiation. All of you who are initiated, in case you don't realize it, when you took those vows, you were saying to your guru, this is going to be my last life. And I know many devotees say, I don't know. If I have to come back again, I'm probably not going to make it in this life. No, you took initiation. There's no maybe. You're not supposed to think that way. When you take initiation, it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing with this life. The other lives I wasted in whatever, pursuing my goals, material goals. This life I just want to become Krishna conscious. And my guru is promising, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, that if you do 16 rounds and follow 4 principles, you can go back to Godhead. Sound good? Yeah. Sounded good to me. I did it when I was 19. I was like, hey, Mercedes-Benz for sale, $500, 2024 is just off the assembly line, come and get them. Whoa, deal. Run after it, go, get your $500. Rob someone on the street, get that $500. I'm getting one. It's too good to be true. So that's when a devotee is searching for spirituality, and they come to this point when they realize this is too good to pass it up. This is too good to be true, that I finally come. They say, I want to commit, and at that time they take initiation. They want to formalize their vow. So that's what's happening tonight. And Mina is going to chant 16 rounds a day without offense, and very soon she will see Krishna. At least that's what Prabhupada said. So I'm just repeating what he said. Yeah. So where is Nilambar? I need to know where we are on schedule. Because once we give her her name, we'll be ready for the yajna. Are we going to do an imaginary yajna in our mind or something? We can.
We will do the setup in 5 minutes, but during that time we can do that Shishastakam.
Oh, he wants to chant Shishastakam. Okay. Are you going to put Shishastakam on the screen behind me so everyone can sing it?
Yeah, we'll go to Cartoon screen.
You have a special melody? Just whatever. Chaitodharvanamarjanam Baba Mahadevakni Nirvapa Shikaya Vichandika Vitagam Vijavadujidam Anandam Budi Vardhanam Vadipadam Purnamritashadhanam Sharvat Vasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Okay, we're going to start in a minute with the Shishastami when it comes on the screen. I don't know if I'm going to play harmonium, but let's see. Okay, they're going to dispel my doubts about how fast you can set up a fire yajna. It's going to be a simple one, right?
We will make it nicer. In Amsterdam's quality is very good.
So you want to get that on the screen?
Yes, he is trying. Find a remote. Anybody has seen TV remote by any chance? You got it? Okay.
Todarpanamarjanam Baba Mahadevakni Nirvapam Shekar Vitanam Vijavadujidhanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Are we ready? It's up there? No? You let me know when it's up. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Okay, are you ready? Chito Dharpanamarjanam Baba Mahadevakni Nirvapanam Shreya Kariradya Vikavitaranam Vidyavadujidhanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Punamritasadhanam Sarvatmasnapanam Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Nam Akari Udanya Nija Sarva Shakti Tatharpita Niyamita Smanena Kala Etadrishi Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaigam Idrishim Narjanina Nuragaha Isunichera Adoratami Sanishna Amadeva Manadeva Kirtanya Savali Nadanam Najanam So we have to make some seating adjustments now because
Yes.
Mina has to pay obeisances to Prabhupada and she has to pay obeisances here. Can we move this harmonium?
You will come.
Oh, you have a place for me?
Yes, we will arrange a place for you.
Okay.
Maybe you can put the whole vessel here.
I can just sit here. This is good.
No, so you can offer the. You can be the Yajaman of the.
We just move it closer?
Yeah.
We have to be spaced to pay obeisances.
So you be the main. I mean, he will conduct the Yajna, but you are the one who is.
Oh yeah, I'm going to do the...
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll put this vessel in here.
I'm the Swaha Acharya?
Yes.
Swaha. Swaha. I would have known. I would have taken a bath. Yeah, I need some water to sprinkle all over me.
Sure.
Hare Krishna. Can you kind of figure out what to do with it?
Fill this. Proof fill this.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Move the chair.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Sit there.
Hare Krishna,
Are you sitting there? No, they can sit there.
Oh, sorry. You can take it.
Sit here. Hare Krishna. And you two sit there.
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. She has to be able to come around here or here.
we will clear space afterwards. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, I think he needs, not me.
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
We recite the whole entire Pranati mantra first, which we all together we do, and then we meditate.
They used to do Achman first, and then I chant Om Pavitra Pavitra.
So you do that first then, before we do one third.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we're going to begin with Achman. So, in order to do ashwa, you know how to do ashwa? You can show her. You take. Yeah. Okay. Watch her. Take this. Show her what to do. You say Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayanaya Namah. Second time, wash your hand. And you chant Om Madhavaya Namaha. Now you've been purified by mantra water. When we do this, I mean you can do it 3 times if you want. It's auspicious. Om apavitra pavitra va sarvabhashtam katopi va yatsmare pundarikaksham sarvabhayantara suti. So this mantra, Prabhupada would chant at an initiation ceremony. This mantra means whether you're apavitra, impure, or pavitra, pure, sarvavashtan, katopiva, wherever you've come from in your past, whatever karmas, samskaras, it doesn't matter, because yatsmare pundalikaksham, if you remember the lotus-eyed Krishna, then you become sarva, bhaya, externally, and anta, internally, suchi, clean. So this is a purification ceremony. So we chant this mantra to begin. So I will now turn it over to you.
Hare Krishna.
And
So we have His Grace Naresh ji. He's from Brussels.
From where?
Brussels. He's
Brussels.
coming from Brussels, yeah. Belgium.
Oh, originally from South India?
From Tirupati.
Tirupati.
So this is the first time we are having an auspicious ceremony with Naresh ji. We are going to also have a big yajna in our Janmashtami program. So you will see him again. But anyway, today was very auspicious. Mahatma Prabhu wanted to have a yajna ceremony here, and we couldn't get any other priest. And suddenly, Mahatma Prabhu himself suggested that we should bring Naresh ji. So thank you for accepting our invitation to come.
How old were you when you did your first yajna? 5 years old?
7.
So you have a lot of practice. Yeah. Okay. He's going to do magic for us, right?
So we will recite, we all can together recite our Guru Parampara prayers. All of us can together do it, and before we start with the yajna ceremony.
Well, normally you do it with the fire and offer the ghee into the fire.
He will conduct that. There is going to be an hour of ceremony afterwards. Hare Krishna. We start? Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Manobishtam Savidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Gita Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Savaranatam Tam Sajevam Sadvetam Sagarutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahajanalita Shri Vishakam Cha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachardine Nirvishesha Sundavari Paschatya Sutardine Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashavani Devi Daya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vidyane Gaure Namaha Madhurya Shalate Madhya Shri Rupanura Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namosute Namaste Jaya Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Svantarine Namo Vishwaraya Sakshat Vairagyamurtaye Vipralambar Sambodhe Pramudayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanugadayate Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Namaste Namaha Sindhuvya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Naya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurasise Namaha Panchatattvam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Namaste Jayatam Surato Pango Mamanda Matirgati Matsarasa Padambojo Radha Mohanno Vrindaranyakarupadhumadha Srimaratnagara Simhasanasto Srimadradha Srimagovinda Devo Krishnalini Saranam Swami Srimadrasa Sarani Vamshivata Tatansaha Krishnalino Swayan Gopir Gopinatha Sriyestunaha Taptatarachanagovani Radhaye Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanusrute Devi Pranamani Haripriye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, you have new neck beads? Rati, can you put those on? I want to give her a name now, so we have to make space. We'll have to make space. After you put on the neck beads, you can go and offer your obeisances to Prabhupada and come over here. And then I'll give you your name and your beads. So we have to make a little pathway here, so she can come here.
Maybe we need to make space.
No, right here is good enough.
Can you keep singing?
No, we're ready. I mean, you can.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna. So how many rounds are you going to chant?
Every day at least 60 rounds, Maharaj.
With offense, without offense?
Without offense.
You're going to try. Yeah, okay, good. And what are the 4 principles?
I promise to never have illicit sex. I promise to have never use intoxication. And I promise to never eat meat or fish.
What else? What they do in Las
Yes,
What they do in Las
I
Vegas?
promise never to gamble.
Okay. You know what Prabhupada said? You're doing the ultimate gambling when you become a devotee. Because Krishna says he's going to take you back to Godhead and you don't know. So you're giving your whole life. That's the ultimate gamble. So that gambling you can do. So, this devotee here is very sweet. Yes?
Yes. Very.
Okay, so we have a sweet name for her. She's been waiting a long time for this. You can tell by looking at her. Hare Krishna. Your name is Madhuri Bhakti Devi Dasi. So, of course, we know what bhakti means. And Madhuri means sweet. Sometimes also translated as nectar. So, the sweetness of bhakti. So, bhakti is sweet. You're the servant of sweet bhakti, and stay sweet in your bhakti. Madhuri Bhakti Devi Dasi, please. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Mahatma Prabhu ki.
So we're going to begin now?
Recite your pranati and then we'll begin, Maharaj.
Okay.
So we'll recite His Grace Mahatma Prabhu's pranati mantra. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Veshaya Bhutale Gurave Krishna Mahatma Prabhu Tat Prabhu Mahavaya Kirtanavadane Namasattva Prakashaya Bhaktanam Tatparaya Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Veshaya Bhutale Mahatma Prabhu Tat Prabhu Bhagavarupaya Kirtanavadane Namasattva Prakashaya Bhaktanam Tatparaya Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Veshaya Bhutale Gurave Chitta Chesavyam Mahatma Prabhu Sada Tat Prabhu Bhagavarupaya Kirtanavadane Namasattva Prakashaya Bhaktanam Tatparaya His Grace Mahatma Prabhu ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we hand over to Naresh ji. Please take the floor.
Thank you so much all for this great opportunity. Hare Om Sri Krishnaya Namaha Kshirambo Nidhiratna Mandapamaha Sauvarna Simhasane Vamankastitaya Prasannavadana Shrikantaya Lingidam Dhordhanda Ankita Sanka Pankajagada Chakrai Charashriyam Tvamidham Kalayanti Abhuda Lakshmi Sanarayana Hare Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Tadeva Lagnam Suvinam Tadeva Tarabalam Chandrabalam Tadeva Vidyabalam Devabalam Tadeva Lakshmi Pade Tengriyagum Smarami Yatra Yogi Surat Krishna Yatra Bhardordhanuddaraha Tatta Shri Vijayor Bhotir Dravani Dirmadir Mamaham Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yojana Paryupasade Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Mahamyaham श्रुते सकलकल्याणाभाजनं यत्र जायते पुरुषस्तमजं मृत्युं व्रजामि शरणं हरिं सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु नास्ति तेषाममङ्गलम् योषां हृदिस्थो भगवान् मङ्गलायतनं हरिः लाभस्तेषां जगस्तेषां कृतस्तेषां पराभवः येषामिन्दीवरस्यामो हृदयस्थो जनार्दनः आपदामपहर्तारं धातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् स्रौतस्मार्तात्मिकं कर्मणिकिलं येन सूत्रितं तस्मै वेदार्थविदे श्रीविघ्नसे नमः आचम्य ऋग्वेद प्रीणातु यजुर्वेद प्रीणातु सामवेद प्रीणातु अथर्वणेद प्रीणातु इतिहास वेद प्रीणातु चंद्रमा प्रीणातु महेश्वर प्रीणातु आदित्य प्रीणातु दिश प्रीणन्तु वायु प्रीणातु इंद्र प्रीणातु विष्णु प्रीणातु हरिः ओं श्रीकृष्णाय नमः हरिः ओं मृत्युश्चन्दो भूतविजाजाह्येते भूमिवारगाः एते शामविरोधेन ब्रह्मकर्मसमारभिः प्राणानायम्य श्री गोविंद 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 श्री महाविष्णुराग्नेय प्रवर्तमानस्य अद्य ब्रह्मणः द्वितीय वरारार्धे श्वेतवराह कल्पे वैवत्सन्वन्तरे कलयुगे प्रथमपादे शाल्मली द्वीपे ऐरोपाखण्डे बृहदारण्ये जर्मनी फ्रांस बेल्जियम देशा परिवृते नेदरलैंड्स देशे आम्स्टरडाम ग्रामे नगरे शोभकृत्नाम संवत्सरे उत्तरायणे आषाढ़ मासे शुक्लपक्षे सप्तम्यां सुदो शुभवास नक्षत्र शुभयोग शुभकरुणा एवं गुण विशेषण विशिष्टायां मास्यां सुदो श्री कृष्णा देवस्थान इस्कान टेम्पल समय प्रांते श्री कृष्ण होमान् च करिष्ये आधुनिर्विघ्नेन समावाप्त्यर्थं विश्वक्षयन ध्यानान् च करिष्ये आतदङ्गत्वेन पुण्याहवाचनं करिष्ये ध्यानम् ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनागम् उपविष्टवस्तवम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदान शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सादनम् ओम श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः विश्वक्षेनं सकल विबुध प्रौढ़ सैन्यादिनादं मुद्राचक्रे करतलकमले शङ्खदण्डोददानं मेघश्यामं शुफणिमुकुटं पीतवस्त्रं शुभाङ्गं ध्यायेद्देवं विष्णुनिजं सूत्रवच्चासमेतं नारायणपिता यस्य माता च हरिप्रिया भृग्वादिमुनय शिष्या तस्मै समस्तवेदार्थविदे श्रीविघ्नसे नमः हरिः ओम ध्यायामि ध्यानं समर्पयामि हरिः ओम मदपुण्याहं मंचावरा श्रोत्रिया नाहुया बुद्धाचार्य तंडुलपूर्ण पात्रोपरस्तंगरगंधारा सुदीर्धिरा भूर्या धारासु सप्त सुषमानसेषु सरत्सरित्सु परिपूरितेषु आपोऽपि गृह्णान् प्रतिपादयिष्ये गृणोमि दत्तागुं सुसर्गुं सुशर्मा इदमाप शिवा इत्यपोऽपि मन्त्र्या इदमाप शिवा शिवतमा शान्ता शान्ततमा शुभा शुभतमा पूता पूततमा पुण्या पुण्यतमा मेध्या मेध्यतमा मृता रसा भूता ब्रह्म पवित्रेण पूता सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः सर्वतीर्थजलं पुण्यं पावनं सर्वकारणं विष्णुपादोद्भवं सर्वमङ्गलदायिनः ब्राह्मणा समृद्धमेच्च मंत्रपूतं शुभावहं कावेरी तुंगभद्रा च कृष्णवेणी च गौतमी भागीरथी विख्याता पंचगंगा प्रकीर्तिता करगे इति कूर्चान्निक्षिप्य कूर्चाग्राक् सांचिन्दी यदुत्कर्म विगादिनः त्वामर्पयामि कुम्भेऽस्मिन् साफल्यं गुरुकर्मसु वृक्षराज समुद्भूतं शाकाया पल्लवत्वचाः विश्वान् कुम्भे अर्पयामि सर्वदोषापनुत्तमे नारिकेळ समुद्भूतं त्रिनेत्रहर सम्मता सिकया दुरितं सर्वं पापं पीडाञ्च मेनुदा सहिरत्नानि धाशुषे सुविता सविता भगः तं भागं चित्रमीमहे तस्मिन् कुशाक्षतगन्धा श्रुतपल्लवादीन् विन्यस्याः करगे पाञ्चभौतिकमावाहयामि जले सर्वतीर्थजलमावाहयामि गंगादि सर्वतीर्थजलाय नमः वरुणाय नमः गंगादि सर्वतीर्थजलाय नमः ध्यायामि ध्यानं समर्पयामि ओम अतो देवावन्तु नो गितो विष्णुचक्रमे पृथिव्या सप्तधामभिः इदं विष्णुचक्रमे त्रेधानिदेवदं समूढमस्य भागं सुरे त्रीणिपदाचक्रमे विष्णुर्गोपाधाभ्यधर्माणि धारयन्नो विष्णो कर्माणि पश्यति गितो व्रतानि पस्पसे इन्द्रस्य झस्सकाः तद्विष्णो परमं पदगुं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवि वचक्षुरादतं तद्विप्रासा विपन्यवोजाग्रुवागुं सस्समिन्धते विष्णोर्यत् परमं पदो द्रविणोदाद्रविणसस्तुरस्य द्रविणोदासनरस्य प्रियं सतु द्रविणोदा वीरवतीं शम्नो द्रविणोदा रासते दीर्घमायुः
सविता पश्चात्तात् सविता पुरस्तात् सवितोत्तरात्तात् सविता धरात्तात् सविता न सुमति सविता नो रासतां दीर्घमायुः भद्रं कर्णे विस्तृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः श्रीरङ्गैः सुष्ठुभागं सच्युनी विभसेवं देवहितं यदायुः शतमिन्नु सर्दवन्ति देवा यत्रा चक्रं जरसन्तु नूनां पुत्रासो यत्र भवन्ति मानो मध्यारीरिषता युगन्तो अदितिर्ध्योन्तरिक्षमत्रिमादा सविता सुपुत्राः विश्वे देवात्रिजातामत्रिजनित्वम् सर्वे देवाः प्रियन्तां प्रियन्तां हिरण्यवर्णः शुचियपावकाया सुजातः कश्यपोयान् सुन्द्रः अग्निं यागद्भन्दद्रे विरूपास्तान आपस्यग्स्योना भवन्तु शिवेन चक्षुषा पश्यवयातनवोपस्पृशत्वचं मे सर्वागुम् अग्निगुं रक्षुषुदो हुव वर्चो बलमोझो निदत्ता यदसम्प्रतीरः वनदाहते तस्मात् दानद्यो नामस्ततावो नामानि सिन्धवः यत्प्रेषिता वरुणेन तास्सी भगं समवल्गदा तथा आप्नोदिन्द्रो भोग्यति तस्मादापोनुस्तना अपकामगुं यन्दमाना विवरत वोहिकं इन्द्रो वशक्तिभिर्देवी तस्मात् ध्यानाममोहितम् ओम तदंगत्वेन स्तंडिलो लौकिकाग्नि आघारं कर्म करिष्ये योतोन भिन्द्रस्तमाम शुद्धं शुद्धैर्गैर्वा वृद्धां संसुदासीर्वा ममन्तु इंद्र शुद्धो नागहि शुद्ध शुद्धाभिरुदिभिः हिदोरयं निदारया शुद्धो न मध्य सौम्यः इंद्र शुद्धो हिमवृत्नानि धाशुषे शुद्धो व्रतान् जिग्नसे शुद्धो वाधिदासहि स्तंडिले भूमिमावाहयामि कुंडे सोममावाहयामि ऊर्ध्ववेदां विधिमावाहयामि अधो वेदाहं प्रजापतिमावाहयामि बहिर्षु सप्तऋषीन्मावाहयामि उद्धन्यमान्यामेध्यापापं सन्निधो पृथ्वीदो कसातः मयि देवा द्रवण मयि जन्तु मयि देवहूतिः दैत्या रावणन्त पूर्वे अरिष्टा स्यामा तनुवास वीराः मह्यं जन्तमन्या व्याकुति सत्यामन सोमेऽस्तु येनो मानिगां कदिमच्चनाहं विश्वे देवासो दिवोचता मे देवी षड्विनुतः कृणे द्वैभिर्द्यमः आस्मदाः प्रजामदास दिशते सोमराजन् अग्निर्मनुम्यां प्रददादा गोपाप्रभाषस्तं प्रक्तं प्रभूतं विनेसदु बहिर्सप्तऋषीन्मावाहयामि उद्धन्यमान्यामेद्यापपाप्मानं सम्निधो प्रथमाकसाताः पूतख्यनेता सौम्या गुणद्गुणसानाहुता विगुंसतु अष्टाबन्धनगुं देवासो जन्मनिष्क्रिया सूर्येण ब्रह्मता चक्रमिज्ञाः विश्वे देवासो अनुतन्मान् चाक्रियस्तान् द्विबन्धाचराचरा भूषा यदयावति सुपस्पतिवरेयम् अपौपस्पृश्य तत्सर्वदुर्वरेण्यं वर्गो देवशब्दयो नप्रचोदयात् कर्णे पुत्रमावाहयामि रेखायां स्कन्दमावाहयामि ध्यातवेदो भुवनस्सरेताम् उपावराहो जातवेदोपनस्तुं देवेभ्यो हव्यवाहन प्रजानाः प्रजास्माद् इदुना नोद्रेण
It's one of the plate. It's a match. Thank you so much.
उपावराहो जातवेदोपनस्तुं देवेभ्यो हव्यवाहन प्रजानां तस्मान् इदुना नोद्रेण इंद्रेषु अग्निमावाहयामि व्यजनधमन्यो वायुमावाहयामि अग्नियो हव्यदातये निहोदा सद्वर्षसि आयं तो निवृतो जातो रोचदाः तं जाननग्नारोहदारो वर्तयारयन्नु चत्वारि शृङ्गा त्रयोस्य पादात् वीर्षसत्रदा वृद्धोर्षभो रोरहीति महादेवो मर्त्यागुम् आविवेशः सप्तास्त चतुशृङ्गो सप्तजिह्वो द्विशीर्षिकः त्रिपात्रस्तु शक्तमन्नं श्रुमं तोमरं विजरं वा मैत्रिपात्रस्तु धारयन् मेषारूढं जटापत्रं गौरवर्णं महोदिसं धूमध्वजं लोहिताक्षं सप्ताच्च सर्वगामदम् आत्माभिमुखमासिनं एवं ध्यायेत्तु दासिनं यज्ञरूपधरं विष्णुम् अग्निमण्डलमध्यगं शङ्खचक्रगदं देवं शुद्धजम्भूनतप्रभं सर्वयज्ञमयं देवं वेदाङ्गोपाङ्गशोभितं लक्ष्म्या सुखासीनाध्यायत्यज्ञपतिं हरिं ध्यात्वाग्निमण्डलं मध्ये ध्यायन्मग्निप्रभास्वाहं प्रभामध्ये स्थिरं वासिनं जनार्दनं वसन्तीं श्यामकेशीयं धृतकाञ्चनशोभिनीं लक्ष्मीमिवां देवीं द्वाहां स्वाहां ध्यायेच्छ्वतरदूर्वाधरश्यामरक्तकेशीयवासनं सुखभोगासनासिनं स्वभावयेत् एकदेव पूर्वाजिनिष्यमानः प्रत्यन्मुखास्तः विश्वतोमुखो भव शान्तो भव सुप्रसन्नासनं कुरु ओम इंद्राय नमः ओम अग्नये नमः ओम यमाय नमः ओम वरुणाय नमः वायवे नमः कुबेराय नमः ईशानाय नमः ओम अग्नये नमः हुतावहाय नमः कृष्णवर्मणे देवमुखान् सप्तशिवान् वैश्वानराय मन्त्रासुरपणे कर्माणिभ्यः नमः इदमा शिवा शिवतमा शान्ता शान्ततमा शुभा शुभतमा पूता पूततमा पुण्या पुण्यतमा मेध्या मेध्यतमा मृता रसा भूता ब्रह्म पवित्रेण पूता सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः करगे पांचभौतिकमावाहयामि जले सर्वतिजन्मावा कक्षवाकाशमावाहयामि कंठे वायुमावाहयामि कूर्चाग्र ब्राह्मणमावाहयामि मूलेषु विष्णुमावाहयामि अदिते नमः गुस्वा अनुमते नमः गुस्वा सरस्वते नमः गुस्वा देव सवित प्रासुभावी ओम भूपते भुवनपते महतो भूतस्सपते ब्रह्मानन्त्वारुणीमहे ओम भूपते भुवनपते महतो भूतस्सपते सोमगुं राजानन्त्वारुणीमहे ओम ब्रह्मजज्ञानमृतमं पुरस्ताद् विसीवस्सुरुचवेनावः सबुज्ञोपास विष्टा सतश्चनिमस्तश्वः ब्रह्माणमावाहयामि ओम सोमोऽध्यनुगुं सोमोर्वन्तमासुगुं सोमो वीरं कर्मण्य ददातु साधन्यमृतकं सभेयं त्रिश्रमयोस्तास्मै ओम भूस्सोममावाहयामि ओम भुवयज्ञाङ्गमावाहयामि ओम सुभ इंदुमावाहयामि ओम भूर्भुसु चंद्रमावाहयामि ओम भूपते भुवनपते महतो भूतस्सपते ब्रह्मानन्त्वारुणीमहे अहं भूपतिराम्बोनपतिरहं मूतस्सपतिरा देवेन सविता प्रसूतात्विन्य करिष्यामि देवसोत्रमसे प्रब्रवीमि मनो गायत्र्यै गायत्री त्रिष्टुमे त्रिष्टुप्तनिष्टुमे अनुष्टुप्पन्ते पंक्ति प्रजापति प्रजापतिस्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो विश्वे देवा बृहस्पतये बृहस्पति देवानां सोमो मनुष्याणां बृहस्पतिग्निङ्गोपायाम् ओम भूपते भुवनपते महतो भूतस्सपते सोमगुं राजानन्त्वारुणीमहे अहं भूपतिरम्मः भुवनपतिरहं मूतस्सपतिग्निपतिरात्विन्यं करिष्यामि देवसोत्रेण प्रब्रवीमि मनो गायत्र्यै गायत्री त्रिष्टुमे त्रिष्टुप्तनिष्टुमे अनुष्टुप्पन्ते पंक्ति प्रजापति प्रजापति विश्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो विश्वे देवा बृहस्पतये बृहस्पति देवानां सोमो मनुष्याणां बृहस्पतिग्निङ्गोपायाम् ब्रह्मन् प्रोक्षयिष्यामि प्रोक्षयित्वं देवतावद्नाकस्य पृष्ठे अस्तु सप्तऋषिनिजमांजदह्यों प्रोक्षाम् सोमन् प्रोक्षयिष्यामि प्रोक्षयित्वं देवतावद्नाकस्य पृष्ठे अस्तु सप्तऋषिनिजमांजदह्यों प्रोक्षाम् वर्षद पवित्रेस्तु वैष्णव्यस्तु वायुपुदेस्तु पावनेस्तः प्राच्यां विष्णुस्तूपोऽसि दक्षिणतो विष्णुस्तूपोऽसि उत्तरतो विष्णुस्तूपोऽसि सौदत्तां विष्णुस्तूपोऽसि प्राच्यां विष्णुमावाहयामि सदा विष्णुमावाहयामि महाविष्णुमावाहयामि व्यापिनारायणमावाहयामि गन्धर्वोऽसि विश्वासुस्वाप्रतिरीडितः इंद्रस्य बाहुरस्य यजमानस्य परिदृढतः मित्रावृतत्तो प्रदत्तान् ध्रुवेण यजमानस्य परिदृढतः गन्धर्वमावाहयामि इंद्रमावाहयामि मित्रावरुणमावाहयामि सूर्यस्य पुरस्तादिकस्य उपरिष्टो देवन्तिकस्यादिकस्य आधाग्निकस्यन्तिकस्यादिकस्य ओम भूस्रुङ्गृह्णामि ओम भवस्रुङ्गृह्णामि रायस्पोषायत्वा स्रुङ्गृह्णामि विष्णुस्तूपोऽसि वष्णोस्ताभ्यागं स्रुङ्गृह्णामि वच्चिश्चादनङ्गितानादाग्निरक्षन्तु हविमावाहयामि अहिनो निरूपां भानुरादित्य प्रसादाम् ओम निर्धर्दुं रक्षो निर्धर्दारातयः निर्धर्दो स्वान्देन चुदियं विष्मा निष्ठुष्टुं रक्तो निष्ठसारातयः निष्ठष्टो स्वान्देन चुदियं विष्मा आदिस्य रद्र छत्रपति भूतकृतभिस्वरैः पयस्योषधीनां देवयज्ञायै वसूनां पवित्रमसि सहस्रदारं वसूनां पवित्रमसि तदारं वसूनां पवित्रमसि सहस्रदारं पुनः त्वच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
देवयज्ञायै वसूनां पवित्रमसहस्रदारं वसूनां पवित्रमसहस्रदारं पुनः त्वच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः उद्भवसोदपर्वसभूयामाविगोलेषु लोकेषु रोचयाम् ओम पुनः त्वच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः ओम उद्भवसोदं पर्वसभूयामाविगोलेषु लोकेषु रोचया पुनः त्वच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः ओम अग्नेयं विष्णुरूपामि सोमाग्नि विष्णुरूपामि अग्निशोमाभ्यां विष्णुप्रजापतिं विष्णुरूपामि बृहस्पतिं विष्णुरूपामि मित्राय विष्णुरूपामि अग्नेयं विष्णुरूपामि बृहस्पतिं विष्णुरूपामि वरुणाय विष्णुरूपामि आदित्येभ्यः विष्णु अश्विभ्यां विष्णु पुष्यं कक्षाय विष्णुरूपामि कक्षदेव सोमाय विष्णुरूपामि उपासनज्ञाय विष्णुदेव दिस्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो तपदस्नाम तच्छत्रस्थापनात् पुनः त्वच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः स्वाहा वाक्स्थापनात् पुनः त्वच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः स्वाहा देवस्थापनात् पुनः त्वच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः स्वाहा ओम अग्नये स्वाहा ओम सोमाय स्वाहा अग्निशोमाभ्यागुं स्वाहा ओम प्रजापतये स्वाहा ओम बृहस्पतये स्वाहा ओम श्री महाविष्णवे स्वाहा ओम बृहस्पतये स्वाहा ఓం మిత్రాయ స్వాహ ఓం వరుణాయ స్వాహ ఓం ఆదిత్యేభ్య స్వాహ ఓం పూష్ణే స్వాహ ఓం కక్షాయ స్వాహ ఓం కక్షదేవత సోమాయ స్వాహ ఓం యజ్ఞదేవత విశ్వేభ్యో దేవేభ్య స్వాహ ఓం భూ స్వాహ ఓం భువ స్వాహ ఓం శుభ స్వాహ ఓం భూర్భువ శుభ స్వాహ ఓం తదన్గత్వేనాతో దేవాది షడ్వైష్ణవ మంత్రం హోష్యే అతో దేవావంతు నో యతో విష్ణుర్విచక్రమే పృథివ్యా సప్తధామ విస్వాహ త్రీణివదా విచక్రమే విష్ణుర్గోపాదాభ్యతదో ధర్మాణి ధారయన్నగ్గు స్వాహ విష్ణు కర్మాణి పశ్యతి గతో వృతాని పస్పసే ఇంద్రస్య యజ్జస్సగా స్వాహ తద్విష్ణు పరమం పదగుం సదా పశ్యంతి సూరయః దివీవ చక్షురాదగ్గు స్వాహ తద్విప్రాసా విపన్నవోజాగ్రువాగుం సస్సమిందతే విష్ణోర్యత్పరమపదగ్గు స్వాహ ఓం సహస్రశీరుషా పురుషః సహస్రాక్ష సహస్రపాత్ సభూమిం శ్వతో వృత్వాత్యతిష్టదశాంగుణగ్గు స్వాహ పురుష ఏ వేదగుం సర్వం యద్భూతం యశ్చ భవ్యం ఉతామృతత్వశేషానః యధన్నేనాదిరోహది స్వాహ ఏతాభానస్య మహిమాతో ధ్యాయాగుంశ్చ పూరుషః పాదోస్య విశ్వాభూతాని త్రిపాదస్యామృతం దివి స్వాహ త్రిపాదూర్ధ ఉదయత్పురుషః పాదోస్యేహాపవాత్ పునః తతో విశ్వగ్వక్రామతు శాసనానసనేయభిస్వాహ తస్మాద్విరాడజాయత విరాజో వది పూరుషః సజాతో వద్యరిశ్చదాం పశ్చాద్భూమిమదో పురస్వాహ యత్పురుషేణ హవిషాం దేవా యజ్ఞమదన్వద వసంతో వాస్యాసీదాజ్యం గ్రీష్మయుద్మస్య రద్ధ విస్వాహ సప్తాస్యాసన్ పరిదయః త్రిసప్త సమిద కృతాః దేవా యజ్ఞం తన్వానాః అబద్ధం పురుషం వసగ్గు స్వాహ తం యజ్ఞం బర్హిష ప్రోక్షణ్ పురుషం జాతమగ్రతః తేన దేవాయజంతాం సాధ్యా ఋషయశ్చ యే స్వాహ తస్మాద్యజ్ఞాత్ సర్వహుతః సమృతం వృషదాజ్యం వసోగుస్తాగుశ్చక్రే వాయువ్యానారణ్యాంగ్రామ్యాశ్చ యే స్వాహ తస్మాద్యజ్ఞాత్ సర్వహుతః సమృతం వృషదాజ్యం వసోగుస్తాగుశ్చక్రే వాయువ్యానారణ్యాంగ్రామ్యాశ్చ యే స్వాహ తస్మాద్యజ్ఞాత్ సర్వహుతః రుజస్సామాని జిగ్నిరే ఛందాగుంసి జిగ్నిరే తస్మాత్ యజుస్తస్మాదజాయత స్వాహ తస్మాదస్మాజాయంత ఏకే చోపయాతతః గావో హి జిగ్నిరే తస్మాజ్జాతాజావయ స్వాహ యత్పురుషం యదతః కదిదా వ్యకల్పయన్నో ముఖం కిమస్య కౌ బాహు కా భూరూపాదాబుచ్ఛేదే స్వాహ బ్రాహ్మణోస్య ముఖమాసీత్ బాహురాజన్యకృతః ఊరూతదస్య యద్వైశ్యః పద్భ్యాగుం శూద్రో జాగత స్వాహ చంద్రమా మనసో జాతః చక్షో సూర్యో వజాయత ముఖాధింద్రశ్చ అగ్నిశ్చ ప్రాణాద్వాయురజాయత స్వాహ నాభ్యాం ఆసీదంతరిక్షం శీర్ష్ణోద్యో సమవర్తత పద్భ్యాం భూమిర్దిశస్త్రోత్రాతు తదా లోకాగుం కల్పయన్నగ్గు స్వాహ వేదాహమేతం పురుషం మహాంతం ఆదిత్యవర్ణం తమశస్తు పారే సర్వాణి రూపాణి విచింత్య ధీరః నామాని కృత్వా అభివదన్ యదాస్తే స్వాహ ధాతా పురస్తాద్యముదా జహార శక్ర ప్రవిద్వాన్ ప్రతిశశ్చదస్రః తమేమం విద్వాన్ అమృతైః భవతి స్వాహ నాణ్యబంధాయనాయ విద్యతే యజ్ఞేన యజ్ఞమగజంతి దేవాః తాని ధర్మాణి ప్రథమాన్యాసన్ తేహనాకం మహిమానస చందై యత్ర పూర్వే సాధ్యా సంతి దేవాః స్వాహ అధ్య సంభూత పృథివ్యైరసాశ్చ విశ్వకర్మణ సమవర్తతాగ్రే తస్య త్వష్టా విదద్రూపమేతి తత్పురుషస్య విశ్వమాజానమగ్రే స్వాహ వేదాహమేతం పురుషం మహాంతం ఆదిత్యవర్ణం తమశ పరస్తాత్ तां हेमं विद्वान् अमृतैः भवति नान्यपन्दा विद्यते यनाय स्वाहा ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा. Now we do the Mahalakshmi chanting. Om Hiranyavarnam Harinим Suvarnadasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedo Mamavahag Viswaham Tammavahag Jatavedo Lakshmim Manapagaminim Yasyam Hiranyam Indayam Gamaswam Purushanag Viswaham Ashwamurvam Radamadhyam Mastinada Prabhodinim श्रियं देवी मुपक्वये श्रीर्मा देवी जुषदां स्वाहा कांसो स्मितां हिरण्यप्राकाराः माद्रां ज्वलन्तीं तृप्तां तर्पयन्तीं स्वाहा पद्मे स्थितां पद्मवर्णां त्वामिहोपक्वये श्रियं स्वाहा चन्द्रां प्रभासां मिससां ज्वलन्तीं श्रियं लोके देवजुष्टामुदारां तां पद्मिनीं मीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये लक्ष्मीर्मेनस्थितां त्वामृणे स्वाहा आदित्यवर्णे तपसो दिशातो वनस्पतिस्तवृक्षोद बिल्वः तस्य फलानि तपसानि तन्तु मायान्तरायाश्च बाह्या लक्ष्मी स्वाहा उपैतु मां देवसख कीर्तिश्च मणिना सह प्रादुर्भूतोऽस्मि राष्ट्रेऽस्मिन् कीर्तिमृद्धिं ददातु मे स्वाहा क्षुत्पिपासामलां ज्येष्ठामलक्ष्मीं नाशयाम्यहो अभूतिमसमृद्धिं स्या सर्वान् मे गृहात् स्वाहा गन्धद्वारां दुरादर्शां नित्यपुष्टाङ्गरीषिणीम् ईश्वरीगुं सर्वभूतानां त्वामिहोपक्वये श्रियं स्वाहा मनसः काममाकुतिं वाचः सत्यमसीमहि पशूनागुं रूपमन्यस्यामयि श्रीश्रूयितां स स्वाहा कर्धमेन प्रजाभूतां मयि सम्भवकर्दमाम् श्रियं वासय मे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनीं स्वाहा आपसृजन्तु स्निग्धानि चिक्लीतवस मे गृहे नित्यदेवीं मातरं श्रियं वासय मे कुले स्वाहा आर्द्रां पुष्करिणीं पुष्टिं पिङ्गलां पद्ममालिनीं चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो ममावहग् स्वाहा आर्द्रां यक्करिणीं यश्रीं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो ममावहग् स्वाहा कामाहवावह जातवेदो लक्ष्मीं मनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं प्रभूतं गावो दास्योऽस्यान् निन्देयं पुरुषानः स्वाहा ॐ महादेव्यै च विद्महे विष्णुपत्न्यै च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ भूमिर्भुवनाद्योरुणान्तरिक्षं महीत्वा उपस्थिते देवी यज्ञमन्नाध्यामन्नाध्यायाददे स्वाहा आयन्नो पुष्टिरक्रमेदस्सनन्मातरं पुनः पितरं च प्रयत्सुतः त्रिगुं श्रद्धाम विराजिति वाक्पतङ्गाय श्रिये स्वाहा प्रत्यस्य वहद्युभिः अस्य प्राणादपानत्यन्तश्चरतु रोचना व्यक्यन्मश्रु सुभस्वाहा यत्वा क्षुब्धपरोपमन्युनागितवर्ग्यः सुकल्पमग्ने तत्त्व पुनस्तो धीपयामसि स्वाहा यत्तैमन्युपरोप्तस्य पृथिवीमनुदद्वसे आदित्वा विश्वे तद्धेवा वासवश्च मावरणग् स्वाहा मेदिनी देवी वसुन्दरी स्यात् वसुधा देवी वासवी ब्रह्मसत्रिनागुं श्रोत्रं विष्णुर्वन स्वाहा देवी हिरण्यगर्भिणी देवी प्रसोदरी सदने सत्यायने सीता समुद्रवती सावित्री यनो देवी मह्यगी महोदरणी महोद्यतिष्ठतु स्वाहा शृंगे शृंगे यज्ञे यज्ञे विभीषणी इंद्रपत्नी व्यापिनीं सरसिजयः स्वयंदारा सत्यंतो परिमेदिनी स्वाहा सोपरिदत्तंगाय विष्णुपत्नीं महीं देवीं माधवीं माधवप्रियां लक्ष्मीं प्रियसखीं देवीं नमाम्यच्युतवल्लभागुं स्वाहा ओम धनुर्धरायै च विद्महे सर्वसिद्ध्यै च धीमहि तन्नो धरा प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ओम शृण्वन्ति श्रोणामृतस्य गोपाम् पुण्यामस्याम् उपशृणोमि माचं महीं देवीं विष्णुपत्नीं मजूर्यामग् स्वाहा प्रतीचीमेनागुं हविषायजामः त्रेधा विष्णुर्वारगाय विचक्रमे स्वाहा महीं दिवं पृथिवीम् अन्तरिक्षं तश्रोण इति श्रवयिश्च मानग् स्वाहा पुण्यपुश्लोकम् यजमानाय कृण्वति गृणाहि घृतवती सवितरादेपयस्वतीरन्तिरासानमस्तु स्वाहा ध्रुवादिशा विष्णुपत्यगोरा सखिनो मानुनोता विष्टंबो दिवोदरण पृथिव्येसा जगतोस्य विष्णुपत्नी स्वाहा ओम श्रीभू सखे च विद्महे विष्णुपत्न्यै च धीमहि तन्नो नीला प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा on the auspicious day of Swami came here, we are going to do the chant with Dhruva Sukta. Wherever the Gurus came or the God comes, we chant with Dhruva Sukta, which is very auspicious. Om Atva Harshamano Mantarobho Dhruvasti Vichachalih Vichasva Sarva Vangmayasva Madishrayasvaha Ehaiva Idimavyatishtha Parvata Iva Vichachalih Indra Iveha Dhruvasisteha Rastramdara Yagdusvaha Indrayena Madira Dhruvam Dhruvena Havisha Tasmai Devadi Brahmanam Cha Brahmana Spati Swaha Dhruvadyo Dhruva Prithivi Dhruvam Viswamidam Jagadu Dhruvaha Parvata Ive Dhruvo Raja Visama Yagdusvaha Dhruvante Raja Varuno Dhruvante Vo Brahaspatihi Dhruvanta Indrascha Agnischa Rastandhara Yadam Gusvaha Dhruvan Dhruvena Havisha Vishnomo Mamrusabi Adhota Indram Kevalir Viswa Balihutka Sadgusvaha Om Ganarahantva Ghanapati Havamahe Kavin Kavi Nagum Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Anashunna Nudi Visida Sadhana Gusvaha Om Ganarahantva Ghanapati Havamahe Kavin Kavi Nagum Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Anashunna Nudi Visida Sadhana Gusvaha Om Ganarahantva Ghanapati Havamahe Kavin Kavi Nagum Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Anashunna Nudi Visida Sadhana Gusvaha Om Namo Bhratapataye Namo Ghanapataye Namo Prabhatapataye Namaste Stulambodharaya Ekadantaya Vigna Vinashine Shivastaya Sri Varadamurtaye Namo Namasvaha Om Maha Ganapataye Idan Namama Om Namo Bhratapataye Namo Ghanapataye Namo Prabhatapataye Namaste Stulambodharaya Ekadantaya Vigna Vinashine Shivastaya Sri Varadamurtaye Namo Namasvaha Om Namo Bhratapataye Namo Ghanapataye Namo Prabhatapataye Namaste Stulambodharaya Ekadantaya Vigna Vinashine Shivastutaya Sri Varadamurtaye Namo Namasvaha Om Aim Hrim Shrim Klim Glong Ganganapataye Varavarada Sarajanam Me Vasimani Vasimani Svaha Om Aim Hrim Shrim Klim Glong Ganganapataye Varavarada Sarajanam Me Vasimani Vasimani Svaha Om Aim Hrim Shrim Klim Glong Ganganapataye Varavarada Sarajanam Me Vasimani Vasimani Svaha Om Tatpurushaaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dhanti Prachodayat Svaha Om Tatpurushaaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dhanti Prachodayat Svaha Om Tatpurushaaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dhanti Prachodayat Svaha Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Murtyorkshmayamamrutak Svaha Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Murtyorkshmayamamrutak Svaha Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Murtyorkshmayamamrutak Svaha Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Murtyorkshmayamamrutak Svaha Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Murtyorkshmayamamrutak Svaha Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Murtyorkshmayamamrutak Svaha Om Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jhalantam Sarvadomukam Nrusimham Bhishanam Bhadram Murtyoham Mrutyurnamamyaham Vajranakaya Vidmahe Tingsradamstraya Dhimahi Tanno Narasimha Prachodayat Svaha Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jhalantam Sarvadomukam Nrusimham Bhishanam Bhadram Murtyoham Mrutyurnamamyaham Vajranakaya Vidmahe Tingsradamstraya Dhimahi Tanno Narasimha Prachodayat Svaha Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jhalantam Sarvadomukam Nrusimham Bhishanam Bhadram Murtyoham Mrutyurnamamyaham Vajranakaya Vidmahe Tingsradamstraya Dhimahi Tanno Narasimha Prachodayat Svaha Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jhalantam Sarvadomukam Nrusimham Bhishanam Bhadram Murtyoham Mrutyurnamamyaham वज्रणकाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णदंष्ट्राय धीमहि तन्नो नारसिंह प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योऽहं मृत्युर्नमाम्यहम् ओम वज्रणकाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णदंष्ट्राय धीमहि तन्नो नारसिंह प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योऽहं मृत्युर्नमाम्यहम् वज्रणकाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णदंष्ट्राय धीमहि तन्नो नारसिंह प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योऽहं मृत्युर्नमाम्यहम् वज्रणकाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णदंष्ट्राय धीमहि तन्नो नारसिंह प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ओम श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय गोपीजनवल्लभाय पराय परमपुरुषाय परमात्मने परकर्म मंत्र यंत्र तंत्र औषध विषाविचार अस्त्र शस्त्रान् संहर संहर मृत्योर्मोचय मोचय ओम नमो भगवते महास्वर्शनाय ओम प्रोम ह्रीं रं दीप्ते ज्वाला परीदाय सर्वदिक्षोमनकराय हूं फट् परब्रह्मणे परंज्योतिषे स्वाहा महाचक्राय महाज्वालाय सर्वरोगप्रशमनाय कर्मबन्ध विमोचनाय पादादिमास्त्य पर्यन्तं वातजनित रोगान् पित्तोजनित रोगान् श्लेष्मजनित रोगान् धातु संगलिगोद्भव नाना विकार रोगान् नाशय नाशय प्रशमन प्रशमनम् आयुरोग्यं देहि देहि ओम सहस्रार हूं फट् स्वाहा महासुदर्शनाय इदं नमः ओम श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय गोपीजनवल्लभाय पराय परमपुरुषाय परमात्मने पराकर्म मंत्र यंत्र तंत्र औषध विषाभिचार अस्त्र शस्त्रान् संहर संहर मृत्योर्मोचय मोचय ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय ओम प्रोम ह्रीं रं दीप्ते ज्वाला परीदाय सर्वदिक्षोभणकराय हुं फट् परब्रह्मणे परंज्योतिषे स्वाहा महाचक्राय महाज्वालाय सर्वरोगप्रशमनाय कर्मबन्ध विमोचनाय पादादिमास्तपर्यन्तं वातजनित रोगान् पित्तोजनित रोगान् श्लेष्मजनित रोगान् धातु सद्गलिगोद्भव नाना विकार रोगान् नाशय नाशय प्रशमनं प्रशमन आरोग्यं देहि देहि ओम सहस्रार हुं फट् स्वाहा महासुदर्शनाय इदं नमः ओम श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय गोपीजनवल्लभाय पराय परमपुरुषाय परमात्मने परकर्म मंत्र यंत्र तंत्र औषध विषाभिचार शस्त्र शस्त्रान् संहर संहर मृत्योर्मोचय मोचय ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय ओम प्रोम ह्रीं रं दीप्ते ज्वाला परीदाय सर्वदिक्षोपनकराय हुं फट् परब्रह्मणे परंज्योतिषे स्वाहा ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय महाचक्राय महाज्वालाय सर्वरोगप्रशमनाय कर्मबन्धमोचनाय पादादिमास्तपर्यन्तं वातजनित रोगान् पित्तोजनित रोगान् श्लेष्मजनित रोगान् धातु सद्गर्भोद्भव नाना विकार रोगान् नाशय नाशय प्रशमन प्रशमन आरोग्यं देहि देहि ओम सहस्रार हुं फट् स्वाहा महासुदर्शनाय इदं नमः ओम श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय गोपीजनवल्लभाय पराय परमपुरुषाय परमात्मने परकर्म मंत्र यंत्र तंत्र औषध विषाभिचार अस्त्र शस्त्रान् संहर संहर मृत्योर्मोचय मोचय ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय ओम प्रोम ह्रीं रं दीप्ते ज्वाला परीदाय सर्वदिक्षोमणकराय हुं फट् परब्रह्मणे परंज्योतिषे स्वाहा ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय महाचक्राय महाज्वालाय सर्वरोगप्रशमनाय कर्मबन्ध विमोचनाय पादादिमास्तपर्यन्तं वातजनित रोगान् पित्तोजनित रोगान् श्लेष्मजनित रोगान् धातु संगलिगोद्भव नाना विकार रोगान् नाशय नाशय प्रशमन प्रशमन आरोग्यं देहि देहि सहस्रार हुं फट् स्वाहा ओम क्लीं कृष्णाय 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 स्वाहा ओम देवकी सुत गोविंदं वासुदेव जगत्पदे देहि मे तनयं कृष्णा त्वामहं शरणागतः ओम क्लीं कृष्णाय स्वाहा कृष्णाय इदं नमः ओम देवकी सुत गोविंदं वासुदेव जगत्पदे देहि मे तनयं कृष्णा त्वामहं शरणागतः ओम क्लीं कृष्णाय स्वाहा कृष्णाय इदं नमः ओम देवकी सुत गोविंदं वासुदेव जगत्पदे देहि मे तनयं कृष्णा त्वामहं शरणागतः ఓం క్లీం కృష్ణాయ స్వాహ కృష్ణాయ ఇదం నమః ఆసత్యేన రసా వర్తమాన నివేశమత్తించ హిరణ్యేన సవితాయన దేవయాది భవనాన పశ్యన్నగ్గు స్వాహ ఓం అగ్నిమూర్ధాదివ కటిపతి పృథివ్యాగు మాపాగు మృతాంసి స్వాహ సూర్యాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం సోమోధనుగుం సోమోర్వంతమాసగం సోమ వీరం కర్మణ్య దదాతు సాధన విదిగం సవేయం తృష్ణమయోసదాస్మై స్వాహ ఏ దేశదమరణం సహస్రం యజ్ఞాపాసాపతతావృత్రాత్యేభ్యో ఇంద్రస్సర్తో విష్ణుస్వే దేవాం చింతు మృతస్వస్త్యా స్వాహ చంద్రాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం అగ్నిమూర్ధాదివ పృథివ్యాగు మాపాగు మేతాంసి స్వాహ ఓం సుబ్రహ్మణ్యే బృహస్పతిస్తయాస్ పద్మయోని యస్యాత్మాభనే మతి స్వాహ అంగారకాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం ఉద్భద్య స్వాగ్నే ప్రత్యాక్షణ ప్రతాపనామయం చక్రనపకృస్తాపనం తనుతామయంతు స్వాహ ఓం బుధాయ స్వాహ ఓం ఇదం విష్ణుకృతే దాని దేవ సుగుణమస్య భాగం సురే స్వాహ బుధాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం బృహస్పతే అతిర్యోర్హోద్యపాదికృతమజ్జనేషు యద్యతస్మాత్ దేహి చిత్రగ్గు స్వాహ ఓం ఇంద్రం ప్రణయందం ఉపృందం సవితారం దదాతు శక్ర శుక్ల సుమన్యేద్రగ్గు స్వాహ బృహస్పతి గ్రహ ఇదం నమః ఓం శుక్రం తెన్నద్విషుభ్యహను దౌరివాసి విశ్వాహిమాయ అపస్వాదో భద్రాతి పురుషనార్థగ్గు స్వాహ ఓం సన్నోని దత్తాం తపసో దత్తాం స్వయం ప్రజ్ఞే మృతయ మృతాకి స్వాహ ఓం సన్నో దేవిరిష్టయ ఆపభవంత వేతయే సంయోర పుష్పంద్రగ్గు స్వాహ ఓం ఇంద్రం ప్రణయన్ ఓం బ్రహ్మజిజ్ఞాన ప్రథమం పురస్తాద్ విశీవ సురుచోవేనావహ సబుద్న్యుపాసవిష్టా సతశ్చోనిమస్తు స్వాహ ఓం శనిగ్రహ ఇదం నమః ఓం కయా నక్షత్ర భూవదూతి కదావృసక కయాశ్రియావృతాగ్గు స్వాహ ఓం కేతుం గృణ్వన్న కేతవే పేసోమర్య పేసే శంషద్రుజాయ తగ్గు స్వాహ కేతుగ్రహ ఇదం నమః ఓం యమో ధాదారాం పృథివీం యమో ధ్యామతు సూర్యమసర్ ప్రాణనాం వాయున్నాగ్గు స్వాహ యమాయ నమః ఓం బ్రహ్మజిజ్ఞానం ప్రథమం పురస్తాద్ విశీవ సురుచోవేనావహ సబుద్న్యుపాసవిష్టా సతశ్చోని మస్తు స్వాహ బ్రహ్మణ ఇదం నమః ఓం అగ్నిమూర్ధాదివక్తి పృథివ్యాగు మాపాగు మృతాంసి స్వాహ అగ్ని ఇదం నమః ఓం త్రాతారవింద్రం మవితారవింద్రం హవే వే స్వాహాగుం సూర్యమింద్రం హవే నిష్కృపుర్దం సుస్త్రం మదాదింద్ర స్వాహ ఇంద్రాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం వసవ ప్రథమో దేవతానాగుం స పశూన్ పాహి అతో దేవేభ్యో సూర్యో వసస్త్యా స్వాహ వరుణాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం మరుత పరమాత్మ పరమాగతి పరమయోగం పరమాత్మ రహమన్నం వాయువే స్వాహ వరుణాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం మిశ్రవాసర కౌబేరా రక్షోరాజన ప్రేషితాః గృహముఖం సజానయో గచ్చంతించంతి ప్రతకృతానగ్గు స్వాహ కుబేరాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం ఈశాన సర్వలోకానాం త్రయంబక సర్వ విద్యానాం నద్వితీయో భవోద్భవాయ ఓం భూ ఈశానాయ స్వాహ ఈశానాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం భూ స్వాహ ఓం భువ స్వాహ ఓం శుభ స్వాహ ఓం భూ స్వాహ భూ స్వాహ ఓం శుభ స్వాహ ఓం భూర్భువ శుభ స్వాహ
స్వాహ
ఓం చిత్తి
హరే కృష్ణ
ఓం చిత్తించ స్వాహ చిత్యాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం చిత్తిచ్చ స్వాహ చిత్యాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం ఆకుతిచ్చ స్వాహ ఆకుత్యాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం దర్శచ్చ స్వాహ దర్శ్యాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం బృహచ్చ స్వాహ బృహత ఇదం నమః ఓం శక్వరీచ్చ స్వాహ శక్వర్యాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం రథతరంచాయ స్వాహ రథతరంచాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం అగ్నిర్భూతానామధిపతి సమావత్వస్మిన్ బ్రహ్మన్నస్మిన్ నక్షత్రే శోధాయా పురోధాయామస్మిన్ దేవహూత్యాగ్గు స్వాహ అగ్నే ఇదం నమః ఓం ఇంద్రో జ్యేష్ఠానామధిపతి సమావత్వస్మిన్ బ్రహ్మన్నస్మిన్ నక్షత్రే శోధాయా పురోధాయా మస్మిన్ కర్మ దేవహూత్యాగ్గు స్వాహ ఇంద్రాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం విష్ణు పర్వతానామధిపతి సమావత్వస్మిన్ బ్రహ్మన్నస్మిన్ నక్షత్రే శోధాయా పురోధాయా మస్మిన్ కర్మహత్యా దేవహూత్యాగ్గు స్వాహ విష్ణవే ఇదం నమః ఓం మృతార్షాటుతాని బ్రహ్మక్షత్రం పాంతాం బ్రహ్మక్షత్రం పాంతస్మై స్వాహ తాభ్య స్వాహ అప్సరోభ్య స్వాహ అప్సర్యాయ ఇదం నమః ఓం భూ స్వాహ ఓం భువ స్వాహ ఓం శుభ స్వాహ ఓం భూర్భువ శుభ స్వాహ అదితే నమగ్గుస్త్వా అనుమతే నమగ్గుస్త్వా సరస్వతే నమగ్గుస్త్వా దేవ సవిత ప్రాసామీః
Swami, I need that blouse, please.
What about for them?
Yes, please, everyone.
Everyone?
Yeah, that's one also. If it is completed, we can give it to everyone. This one also.
Oh, there.
Yes. Yeah, that one also you can give it to everyone, please.
But for the messages, you have enough? Don't they need a plate? Plate.
Everyone come slowly. Once after Swami place the dravyam, then please come everyone one by one and place there.
I was just doing it once, I think.
No, I will give you some. I will prepare for you.
Okay.
No, not that. I will give first. I will separate. Once Swami place the Prabhu place the Purnahuti, please everyone come and slowly place your as your whatever they give. Yeah. Sir, can you give me that ilachi and cloves? That 2 packets. Yes, please. Those 2 packets. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Om Purotengana Visheshana Vishishtayam Asyam Suvido Yajamanasya Arogyabhrutyardham Manobhishtada Phalasityardham Homa Sampurnata Sityardham Purna Hudi Homam Hoshe Ekam Dve Trini Chatvari Pancha Shat Sapta Ashta Nava 12 drops of ghee on this please with that. Ekam Dve Trini Chatvari Pancha Shat Sapta Ashta Nava Dasa Ekadasa Dvadasa Om Saptate Agna Sapta Jihva Sapta Dhama Priyani Sapta Hotva Saptadat Rajayanti Raptruneda Guswaha Purnahuti. Keep it on this ones for me. Use this and place slowly in the center.
Whoa.
Om Saptate Agna Sapta Jihva Sapta Dhama Priyani Sapta Hotva Saptadat Rajendra Raptruneda Guswaha Purna. Everyone please slowly one by one. No. Come near and place it please inside. Om Saptate Om Purna Hudi Muttanji Hodi Sarvamai Purna Hudihi Adho Idamai Purna Hudihi Asyameva Pratistadi Vasor me dharasti Vayesham Ute Mesha Dharam Shulloke Minva Mano Pratistadi Tejo Njuhoti Tejo Vado Kamane Vrunde Purna Hudi Muhurta Sumuhurta Vastu.
You want some more? You can have
Yes.
Om Purna Hudi Muhurta Sumuhurta Vastu Yajna Purusha Devadabhyo Namaha Saptade Agni Sapta Jikva Sapta Dhama Priyani Sapta Hotva Sapta Dharendra Tunera Guswaha. నేను చేస్తాను అందరూ ఇస్తే అంతే ఇట్స్ ఓకే ఐ విల్ జస్ట్ वो करते हैं हाँ डाल दिया
Can you please sit down for a few minutes, please? Hare Krishna. His Grace Mahatma Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Naresh Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much, Naresh Prabhu. Amazing. Thank you so much. Very grateful. Thank you. Jai. Okay. Okay. Mahatma Prabhu, please come and sit.
Oh, wait.
So, Hare Krishna. Can you please take a seat? Just few minutes, please. Sit down. We have very important announcements. Please. Hare Krishna. You will get the prasadam from the yajna very soon. Just sit down, please, for a minute. So we all know that next week, next Saturday is our Amsterdam Rath Yatra. Jagannath is going to come on the streets of Amsterdam. It will start from here. We'll be pulling Jagannath from here till Dam Square. Jagannath Puri is going to appear in Amsterdam. So, in making this festival a grand success, we have raised quite a lot of funding so far, but we are still lack of almost 3,000 euros. So we want to use this auspicious opportunity today. If anybody of you, if you would like to please pledge an amount, whatever it is, we'll be really happy to get your support and then make this program a grand success next week. So we would like to do a quick